Okay, for the next phase of our pizza production, we're going to put together the beef. We're going to be using Maximus Pie beef spices. Okay, this particular package is for a 2-pound blend. So we start out with 2 pounds of low-fat ground beef. I've got like an 8x12 roasting pan here. It's got about a 2-inch high wall on it. I'm going to put the beef in there and then evenly mash down the beef, flatten it out, and even it out in the bottom of the pan. Once this is done, all you got to do is take the package of Maximus Pie beef spices. We'll open her up. This is great because the instructions are right here on the label. It's very simple. You've got your meat mashed out flat in the pan. Spread evenly. Pop open the bag of spices. And then what you're going to do is cover the meat with the spices. Take and just kind of stir it around evenly. Best you can. Now, we're going to take and we're going to roll this from one end to the other. You have to excuse me. Okay, we've got the spices evenly spread over the beef. Now, start at one end of the pan. Take and start rolling the beef back up on itself. Not that hard to do, you just roll it back on itself until you got a little loaf. I turn it a quarter turn in the pan, and then I mash it down again. Now what this is doing is helping knead the spices thoroughly into the meat. What I'm going to do is repeat the rolling and spreading process several times. And that's going to pretty well distribute the spices throughout the entire 2 pounds of ground beef. My second fold, going for the third one. And like I say, the object of all this is to try to distribute those spices evenly throughout the entire content of the meat. Okay, once again it's important to flatten out the meat until it's evenly distributed and covering the entire bottom of the pan. Now, the next step is to take, we're going to run just a little bit of tap water over this and cover it with maybe a 1/4 inch of water. And what that does is it keeps the top of it from crisping when you're baking it. The next part of the process is we're going to put this into a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. Going to let it bake kind of like a meatloaf. And when it's done, as soon as it comes out of the oven, I mean the moment it comes out of the oven, you need to drain all the juices, this excess water and the juices off the meat. Drain the pan. And then we're going to put the pan out to cool. Let it set for a while. And what we're doing is when it immediately comes out of the oven, it'll be kind of soft. And we want that to harden up some because we'll have to regrind the meat. But this completes the second phase of it, and now all there's left to do is to pop this into the, like I say, 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. We're going to take care of that right now. Okay, we're back to the second portion of how to handle the beef for your Maximus pie. We've taken a 2-pound mix, we blended it with our spices, covered it with about a 1/4 inch of water, placed it in the 350 oven for 45 minutes. As soon as it came out of the oven, I drained all the juices off the meat, got rid of all the excess fat and grease that would have been on that meat, been floating on a pie. If it was a commercial pie, that grease would be floating on top of your pie. Okay, so now we've gotten rid of that. We've let the beef cool, and now we can cut it up into little bitty squares, kind of like brownie squares. And what we've got to do is regrind the beef. You don't need any special utensils. I'm sure most every kitchen in the country's got just a regular blender. Cut the beef up into small cubes, maybe 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, something like that. Don't overload your blender. Just take your time. This will only take a few minutes to do this. Now what it's going to amount to, this 2-pound batch of meat that you made is going to make approximately 2 big pizzas, okay? That's going to put 1 pound of beef on each pie. So if you're looking to make more pies than that, you're going to have to multiply your recipe, but this is a good place to start here. Alright, like I said, you don't need any special gear, just a regular blender. We're going to take these little squares, they're about 1.5 inches square. We're going to put 2 or 3 of them in there at one time. We're going to grind it up, get all our ingredients ready, and then we'll come back and I'm going to build you an entire pie. But this is a simple enough process. Just want to let it run there for a couple seconds, grind up the beef. It's going to end up looking like that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of this batch of beef, get it all ground up, and then I'm going to be right back and I'm going to show you how to build the entire pie.